actually. We've
Are
just
you?
been having a good giggle then.
Well, that makes it easier. Well, it's just a conversation. It's no different than yesterday. We just happen to have a number of people watching, and gratefully for that.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had some younger people on, but I don't know if we've had one we've had a lot of parents telling the stories, and occasionally a young person comes in, but not like this. So I'm excited. We're excited about it.
Yeah, we are. We're excited and slightly nervous all at once.
Well, it should be a little different than the David Icke show we just had.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we had was it after I talked to y'all? We had an 18-year-old on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was from near Glastonbury, I think. God, I do so many, I can't remember anything, but yeah, it was really interesting because she said she woke up because her mother woke up a year and a half ago watching a David Icke interview.
Oh, right.
It's funny how all the dots get connected.
It really is. Absolutely.
So I think the way this started was our beautiful friend Mary Rodwell, right?
Yeah.
She works with children all around the world and many other things, but she's talked to us several times. She's been on the show probably 15 times. And yeah, we've always said to her, if you know any of them that would talk to us. So I guess that's what happened. We're very grateful to her and to both of you for coming on. I don't know where to start because I've never been down this road, but how did this start? Has it always been prevalent in your life?
Well, it sort of started when I was around like the age of 5 or 6. I started to get some quite amazing dreams, and they just started to get more and more amazing.
Yeah. And were they like dreams where you were, like in a body, or were you observing things, or?
I didn't really notice that I was in a body, so I might have just been there but not noticed it. But
some of them you're in the body.
Some of them I was in my body because I could notice my hands and my legs and my feet and stuff. So some of them I were, but
your angel one.
Yeah. One of the dreams that I had was one of my first ones when I was quite young. I was about like 5 or 6. And I went into this room in my dream. It was like a purplish room. And these angel-like beings, there was 3 of them. There was 2 like tallish ones at the back and then one very tall one at the front. And they handed me this silver box. And I opened it up. And inside the silver box was this purple heart. And the angel at the front picked up the purple heart and put it to my heart, and it like dissolved into my body.
How old were you then? About 6?
I was about 6, 5.
Wow. And have you? Has it just remained in dreams, or have you had any other experiences?
I've had one where I actually saw a being in my bedroom. I could see its like body like moving around in my bedroom. I call this being Chad. He told me that that's his name. He was an ET sort of being. He was very tall with very dark black eyes, and he was moving around the room, almost crawling around it. But I wasn't scared of him at all. He like sort of surrounded me in love, so I didn't get scared by him.
Wow.
But he gave me a white feather and a black crystal, and he put it in my hand, and he cupped my hand with it on my hand, and it like dissolved in there. And he tells me what it meant through my mind. So he almost read my mind and I read his. And he said that that was going to protect me.
Wow.
You've been to his planet too, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been to his planet as well.
Really? So
Yeah.
you've seen this being more than once?
Yeah, I've seen him quite a lot.
Wow. And he took you to his planet. Were you in dream state or were you conscious?
I think it was a dream,
Yeah.
or I might have just closed my eyes and went there, or like something like that happened.
You did it in not so much meditation, but you did it when you were awake a couple of times, and also in dreams when you both dreamed.
He took me to his land, and there was like a group of the same beings, and they circled around me, and they were all very curious of me because they were like sniffing me and like touching me and checking me out. And they all looked the same, and they were just checking me out in a way. And the world was like a very sandy world, like an orangey sort of sandy world. And he was standing next to me, and he was like holding my hand next to me while this happened, to almost say that it's okay and they're just checking me out and it's nothing bad about it.
So do you get scared at all?
No.
No.
I know that they're really good beings and they're there to like just help me in a way. So I didn't get scared by them.
She's seen others as well, haven't you?
What's that?
She's seen other ones too. She's experienced. You saw some like orbs once, blue orbs that made humming. They kept humming at you, didn't they?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sort of harmonic noises rather than sort of speech or anything.
Do you feel like that, Amy, that you're an ET?
I definitely have come from the ET with Chad from his planet, maybe in my past life or in just a different life. But I maybe would say that because I see them quite a lot. And whenever I go to a different planet, I always seem to have him there. Even if it's like a different beings I'm seeing, I always seem to have him with me. So yeah, maybe.
I wonder, has he said anything, or do you have any impression as to why he's there, who he is, what he represents? Is he family?
I definitely think he's part of my family, or part of where he's been, where I've came from before. So maybe in that life, something I had to move on to help this planet or something. But he's still there and he's still around me.
Has he explained what you needed protection from, and or like what the purpose of the interactions? Has he given you any messages?
He hasn't really told me what the protection in the crystal and the feather was all about. He just told me that I needed it for in case anything happened to me, or maybe like my energy might have got a bit low, like with my negativity and stuff. So bring it back up. He hasn't really told me why he's here to interact with me. I think he might just be like someone that I was very, very close to at some point in my journey. So I think he's always been around me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Lynn, what's it like to have this, one of your children telling you these things? How long did it take you to accept it?
Straight away, really. When she was little, she used to have an invisible friend, and I just thought it was an invisible friend. But she was really upset when she actually left her and said she didn't need to look after her anymore. She was going to go and work with somebody else. And I can remember Amy being really upset then. She was about 4 or 5.
Wow.
I thought, you know, I thought invisible friends just disappeared, but she obviously meant a bit more to Amy. And then her dreams, when she had the amazing Ascension Dream, that was when she was about 7. I suppose the heart one as well was pretty amazing, but the Ascension Dream, I thought there's something a bit more going on here. And she also spoke to me before she was born. She told me she was going to be born, and I'd had a couple of miscarriages, and I was, you know, people beginning to say, is it really worth it? You know, you've got 3 children, do you really need another one? But I knew I was going to have her. And then her voice came into she was on my left side. She kept saying, I'm going to be born, you know, don't give up on me, I'm going to be born. And I knew she was going to be a little girl, and I knew she had a special place in the world, and I knew what she looked like. So
Wow.
there she was, and she was born. A little partner ever since. And she's got an amazing, who she calls Buddhess, who she talks to, she can channel from, who is really useful for me because I can ask all sorts of questions.
Really? What's the name?
I call her Rosella.
Rosella. So there's Rosella, there's Chad. Are there any others?
Not sort of beings that I'm really close to, but I have seen other ET sort of beings in my lifetime.
And with Rosella, how did that start? Did it just come through one time, or how did that happen?
I think I was just lying in my bed, and I had decided that I just wanted to close off my whole mind and just go in this sort of the darkness of my mind, like the void. And everything just went quiet. I couldn't hear anything. And I was a little bit scared at first because I was sort of like seeing if anyone was around. So I was like calling anyone, and I was running down like almost this dark hallway. And I just found her sitting cross-legged on this cushion. And she sort of welcomed me in. It was in like this dome shape. And she welcomed me in, and she told me to sit on this cushion as well. And there was like this bowl in front of me and her that had like a lotus flower in it, and it like changed colors and stuff. And she was just started talking to me about my life and if I had any questions for her. And then it sort of just went on like that. And I told my mum, and she started saying, could you ask questions and stuff? So I started to channel with Rosella, and it started just to go on like that, really.
God. So is this what's going on with all 12-year-olds?
No, most of her friends don't know anything about it because she's worried that they might think she's a bit odd.
I wonder how many are keeping their own secrets.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
Or even how many of them have suppressed and don't even remember. Yeah. That would probably be more likely. Yeah. So you had an Ascension Dream. What was that about?
My Ascension Dream happened when I was 7, and I was with lots of people, like there was loads of them, and we were all floating around in space, really, just like talking. Everyone seemed to be fine. Everyone seemed to be actually really happy. I was a little bit confused at the start on where we had to be, where we were, but Earth wasn't there. I couldn't see any of the planet. And this almost source took us individually to each sort of space where we could go. My mum was there with me, and he took us to this sort of crystal cave. It had like loads of crystals and lights and these flowers you could see, and there was like sparks coming out of the flowers, and there was a waterfall there. And he said this is like where you can just rest and do whatever you want, really. And then there was another room that the source took us in, which had like loads of different colors going on. There was like clouds there and everything. And then he showed me this like woodland where there was a bunch of animals that I had knew that had passed away there. And they were like in a sort of ghostly figure, like you could see them, but they weren't actually really there, but they were. And they were just happy, like the people there, just roaming around this like forest. And once he had showed me and my mum all of this, he showed us 2 planets. He showed us one, which is like the planet.
He showed everybody, didn't he? Took you all.
He showed us this one planet that was like this planet with not very good things and all of that going on, like wars, fighting, just not very good energy. And then he showed us the other planet that was really peaceful and lovely and just really nice to be there. And he said, you can choose which planet you want to go on. You can either go on that one, which isn't very nice, but you can learn a lot from it, or you can go to one where it's just peaceful, but you have to be caring and look after each other and stuff.
Wow. 7 years old.
Yeah, she jumped out of bed and told me, Mum, I've had an amazing dream. You'd love it. And told me all about it. And of course, she didn't know anything about Ascension or anything in those days. You know, she'd never heard of such a thing. So it's quite incredible.
Did she say the word?
No, she didn't say Ascension. I've added that to it because it was like, wow, that just sounds like Ascension. You know, people talk about the new Earth and the 2 Earths and things.
You know, Mary talks about the kids a lot. What she has said is that the parents contact her so that they can connect the kids to her.
Yeah.
So that the kids can have some, I'm not really, exactly sure what Mary does with the kids. I'm sure she runs a session with you, but basically that the parents are looking to give the kids, I guess, some validation, maybe. I mean, what was your reasoning behind it? Were you having any issues?
It was the same, really. It was she had so many amazing things which have just grown. She's got even more now. Amazing things going on and gifts that she was obviously, as she was growing up, getting. That I just really wanted confirmation that that not that it was okay, because I knew it was okay, but I suppose I just want to talk to another adult, really, because at the time there was nobody around that I could say, look, my daughter's doing these amazing things and seeing these amazing things, and who do you go to when you've got that, when they're having these experiences, and it just felt better to talk to somebody else who knew about it, really.
Do you discuss it at home, or is it just between the 2 of y'all?
It's mainly us 2, isn't it?
Yeah,
mainly. I
mean,
you're
the baby. You're the baby of the family.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, she's got 2 sisters who know all about it, and you sometimes talk to them about it, don't you? But
they probably don't. They probably don't want to get on your bad side. They're afraid you might zap them. So, and how often do you channel? Is it Rosetta? Is that what you said?
Rosella.
Yeah.
I can do it anytime I like. But I normally do it most days, but some days I don't always do it. But most days I do it and just ask her questions about what's going on and if I need to know anything from her.
She checked out before she came here that it was okay to come on and talk about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And she said that it was, what did she say?
She said that it was fine, and she said that there was, in a way, a reason that you had told me to come on tonight, so I need to come on in a way.
Wow. Do you feel like that Rosella is an aspect of you?
She actually told me that. She said that she was my higher self.
That's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So, and like what type of information? It sounds like you ask her things that are more of a, I guess, collective kind of a topic, and then also personal. Is that right?
Yeah. A lot of it is personal that I ask her, but if anyone like wants to know a question about their life or
Really?
just about world in general, she can answer it or she can tell them a bit about it.
Occasionally she says you've got to find that out for yourself. So there is the odd occasion she won't answer, isn't there?
Wow.
Yeah.
But normally she does.
Wow.
Mm.
Does she say, oh, like, okay, like, so if somebody's asking you questions about their personal experience,
Mm.
does she say how she gets the information? Is she getting it from the other person's higher self?
She never has really told me how she gets it or where she gets it from. But I feel like she might be able to see what happens in the future or like in the past or stuff like that. I feel like that might be it, but then it might be another reason.
Hmm. Have you done this for people or other than your mom?
No. Only your sister.
Only my sisters, but no one else really apart from my family.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, and what did your sisters think?
A lot of the time they find it kind of crazy. With my sister, she was going to have a baby and she asked me what sort of, is it a girl or is it a boy? She asked me as well, like what sort of things are going to protect her and stuff. And I told her that I could see when I was going into my void, I could see that it was a girl because I could see this like sort of pinkish flower there. And I could also see a white tiger. It had white fur with black stripes.
Wow.
And I told her that I was going to be a girl. So I'm just seeing if like her favorite animal is going to be a tiger or something now.
A guide, maybe a guide.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the protection that she was talking about. God. So does your voice change when you channel?
I think so.
I don't think so. A lot of the time when I channel, I do it, we speak through our minds. So I can't, in a way, I can't really hear myself speaking, but I can hear her speaking.
I see.
Wow.
But when I do talk, I think it's just the same.
So you're having a telepathic conversation with Rosella, and then you in turn speak it to the best of your ability, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think sometimes she can say things that I might not always understand, so it might be a bit advanced. Yeah. So I kind of say it in how I think she was saying it, or just say it how she said it, and then my mum can like kind of turn it into what she meant.
Yeah, she's come out with some quite amazing things. Talk about how we're all one.
She once told me that we are all the same, but it's only our bodies that are different. So we're all the same, not even an age really. We're just the same people in a way, but it's only the bodies that are like the difference. So if you might have an illness, it's not actually like the soul or your path that has the illness. It's just the bodies that we have been put in.
She was so excited. She came rushing out and said, we're all the same. There's no such thing as age. There's no such thing as illness. We're all the same. Everything's the same. It's just in this lifetime, you've got this body on, which makes you think you're different. It was amazing. She was so excited by that conversation.
Yeah.
We have a Soulogy, I don't know what you would call him. He has an ability to dowse for information that's very unique. and he was just saying here that he's saying that Amy's spirit part is from a sixth density of consciousness, so sixth dimension, third tier being, also called a galactic higher self, one of the 8 stars that evolved into a galactic center. Her higher self is a galactic center. This is Adam Marquez out of Canada. And then he says, Rosella is one of her 3 attributed guides. I'm just sharing this information with you. I'm not saying it's, he says it's legit. Her higher self is among the oldest playing the game in this universe. Namely, one of the 8 stars that since then evolved into a galactic center, like an energy complex. So just imagine a bunch of souls coming together and creating one voice, basically. He says her higher self is a galactic center. Rosella is not her higher self. That's according to his... He does this during the shows, and it's quite amazing, some of the stuff. Most of us can't even understand what he's saying, but somehow or another, through the transmission, there's some validity going on.
I've always felt Amy was an old soul because she just takes life so easily, and she's always smiling. She's born smiling, and I just feel she's at home here, as if she's been here many times, but she's been, she knows how everything works.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense. She just takes things in her stride so well.
So do you ever get upset? Because when I talked to you yesterday, I mean, I got the same impression, and I get it now with what your mom's saying.
I do get upset, but it doesn't bother me for a long time. So, like, I get upset for maybe like half an hour, and then I just don't think about it really.
Sorry about that. I had a double book, and I had to tell the lady a little bit later today. But I heard you. So I don't want to impose, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it's okay to ask. We're not looking for any sensationalism. It's not like that. We just love having the conversation with you. But I was wondering, would you channel?
I probably could.
Do you, I mean, only if you're comfortable, but I don't know. I mean, we've had a lot of people come on here, and it's not something out of the ordinary, but for some reason it feels totally different with you. Like I don't sense that your channeling is like anything we've seen before. I'm just basing that on a hunch called intuition.
Have you got a question, or is it just?
I don't know. Do you normally have questions, and you can
I ask the questions.
Yeah. So you can just connect when you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I guess, do you ask like global type questions or just always personal?
Both really.
Okay.
It sometimes can be personal, but then sometimes.
Yeah. Mary asked a while back, what she thought was happening in the world, and she came out with an amazing script that I've got here, but in case you ever wanted to hear it again, it was incredible what she said.
Yeah, I think that would be a great place to start. You want to share that? Yeah.
Yeah, I can read it.
Because I think everybody would be interested in hearing that.
Yeah, well, it's what Mary's question was, what's happening on the earth at the moment? And Rosella said to Amy, everyone is moving dimensions. The higher self of each person individually is working hard to bring into alignment the new dimensions upon Earth. Every higher self on the planet is trying to do this, even if the person is totally unaware. Humans are emotional beings. There are beings with lower vibrational frequency on the planet that are not necessarily from Earth, and they feed from lower and negative vibrational energy. As the higher self of each person is moving or trying to move to a higher energy, move higher, this will mean that there is less energy for them to feed off. Therefore, certain beings are creating many negative emotional situations on Earth to try to keep humans from changing the vibration and dimensions. The higher the energy, the vibration, the less emotional we become. We will be more in a neutral happiness and harmony of the planet and with each other and our lives. There is this kind of energy battle going on with each person, their higher self, and some energies on Earth. Not everyone realizes this is happening. There is no good or bad. There's no judgment involved. There's no hierarchy involved. We are all equal, even the darker energies. We are all just experiencing different lives. Everyone will evolve into the higher dimensions eventually. Nobody will be left behind, but it's just a matter that the timings are going to vary. This moving dimensions is happening throughout the galaxy to other planets too. However, some planets are already on a high vibration, so the lower energies are not there, and as there is nothing for them to feed from. When you reach your higher dimension, it's really hard to explain what it's like. Hang on. Apart from that, it will be totally different reality, a separate reality. Although those who are not reached that vibrational state will still be around, but in a different reality. One full of drama and emotion, a totally different feeling. Amy found it hard to explain all this. She said this shift will happen and it will lift us into a new kind of caring, less emotional reality. But the timing for each person is going to vary.
Wow.
So that's quite profound, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was using language and words that just wouldn't come from a 12-year-old.
No.
So
No, I mean it's obviously pure. I mean, really, what she's referencing, the way it's set up, I mean that's you can go back to the stuff written about the archons, like in the Nag Hammadi,
yeah,
the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
They talk about that. They talk about a different term in terms of higher self, but they talk about that. So it sounds like that channel, along with what you were saying earlier about the two planets, it sounds like that, and other people have come forth and said this as well. But how does that happen? I don't know. But in other words, though, that there's two Earths. Is that your impression, Amy?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It was quite hard for you to describe. You could see it in your mind, couldn't you? But you couldn't find the words.
Yeah, find the words to almost explain what Rosella just told me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like just changing our emotional field, because we're so into drama and action and getting het up about nothing, that actually if we just stopped all that and started to see reality around us, then we'd all be happy and everything would change. But it's quite hard because we keep being thrown into miserable stuff, especially if you watch the telly. And it's all
well, yeah, I mean, if everyone just acted like Amy.
Yeah. That's all you need. Just lots of Amy's.
I mean, so Amy, do you get scared? Are you fearful? Do you worry about COVID? Do you worry about other things? I mean,
honestly, I have noticed that I don't get so scared of things with illnesses like COVID or things like that. Really, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
She's got tell about the trees that you see.
One of the things that actually happened quite recently, we were on a walk through this path and next to us was some woods, and I started to see lines going between the trees. So it was almost like a luminous, different colored lines going through each tree. But no one else could see them. And that actually did sort of freak me out because I could only see them.
They? At the time, they're in squares and crosses, and
some of
really
them were
bright
just
colour.
lines going through, but a lot of them were like different shapes. So they could be a square or a triangle or things like that.
Wow.
But it was very, very interesting at the time, but no one else could see them, so it was a bit weird.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah.
And we went back at night to see what she could see in the dark.
We went back at night because I thought it would be even more cool to see these luminous sort of lights going between the trees when it's all dark. And when we went back there, I could see even more of these lights. It just lit up the whole forest. So I told my mum I could almost walk through the forest as if it was daylight.
Really?
Even though it was pitch black for everyone else, no one else could see anything.
It's crazy.
God.
You were told she had a dream about that, and she was told she was given a key, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a dream, and someone like this being told me that I had got a key to something and almost unlocked it, and I now can see the tree's energies. They also told me that when it's a shape like a square or a triangle, they told me that's them healing each other. But when it's like a line, it's them just interacting with each other or like connecting.
Oh, okay. So it's actually an indicator of their communication between each other.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Okay. Wow. This is cool. Yeah. I have a question. If you're up for it.
It's for Rosella, yeah?
Yeah.
So my question would be, how many Amy's are out there, and are they going to, I guess, kind of like come together, or will they be seen? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Give a minute.
She told me that there's not many, maybe like 8 or 10. So not that many, but not all of them would speak out because quite a few of them are actually scared of what they can see, and they might try and block it because they're frightened of it. But some will try and get together and speak out about what they're having, just like I'm doing.
Wow. Everybody was saying they heard some crazy noise. I didn't hear it, but and it's amazing the way you just tapped in like that.
Mm.
I know it sounds crazy, but when I saw you put your head down, I was like basically in this, I don't know, it was like in this big square, dark black room, right? You know, just that same thing you're talking about.
Sometimes when someone asks me a question, they're still talking, but it just comes through instantly as if I know what they're about to say, and she just tells me. But sometimes I do have to kind of switch off, maybe when I'm a bit nervous or don't really, but that just came through.
Wow. And that actually follows a little bit of what Adam was writing. He said there was 8, but he was talking about that basically that's where you come from. So have you been able to talk to anyone else about this at all? Either of you?
We haven't done really, have we?
No, not really. Just my family I've really told.
I've got a couple of friends who, are quite spiritual minded, and I chat to them a little bit about it.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine.
I just feel, because although we're doing this show, which sounds a bit sort of weird, but I've just kept it, I've tried to keep a bit protected, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
She felt strong enough to do it. And also her her Rosella sort of said it was fine and it was the right time tonight. So, but we haven't sort of broadcast it at all to anyone or anything.
No.
Well, whatever comes, I think she's going to be fine.
Yeah,
I don't think she's got any.
she got it sussed.
So, Amy, do you feel like you're an infinite being, like that you'll never die?
I think so, yeah. I think I will obviously not necessarily just be on this world, but I don't think I will ever really go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't think we died, do you?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just, like from your personal, because like, you came from somewhere else.
Mm.
Yeah, that to me would be like the kind of questions would be like,
where are you going next?
yeah, like, what, like this seems to be a very special time.
Yeah,
on the earth.
I agree. Totally.
So it just feels like that there's so many different energies and dimensions and planets and so on here today. I mean, here and at present on the earth.
Mm.
Just feels that way.
Yeah.
So when you had this, the Ascension Dream or just any of the information that you've gotten, I guess you pretty much just said it, though. You said it's going to happen. It's going to happen for everyone.
Yeah.
It's just everybody's, I think you said, on their own timeline, basically.
Yeah, everyone's in a way on their different paths. And even if they're not the best and they're, saying some things that might offend people or upset people in any way, their higher self, everyone has their own higher selves.
Mm-hmm.
And it will just take some more time for them. But that's maybe because I don't really like to use the word like behind or something, because that just sounds like there's
judgment.
Yeah, judgment. But they're just maybe catching up in a way.
Yeah. And probably started further back too, right? I mean,
yeah.
Not everybody can be an 8-star energy complex. So a Rosella is a beautiful multicolored Australian bird with a really lovely song. I didn't know that. Well, and there's something about the name Rose too, for some reason, I think seems to be pretty prominent, like Mary, Rose, they seem to be prominent. So do you talk to, God, it feels so strange to say that. Because it's you, but it's not you. It's so cool. But so when you talk to Rosella, do you ever talk in terms of, what you're supposed to do? Or I think you said earlier that it kind of alluded that that'll come in time, but do you ever wonder or ask, what are you going to be doing here?
Yeah, I did ask her that once.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, it was again with Mary, wasn't it? And you said that you were here to help people connect with their higher selves and to stay grounded on Earth, because obviously Earth is the place that we live, so we need to stay grounded as well. And I can't remember what the other thing was.
Yeah, there was.
You were going to help people with their higher selves. You were going to help people ground, and maybe, I don't know, whether you help with their ascension. I'm not sure, something like that. I can't remember. You could ask her again though.
We can go back. But yeah, like before we do that, let's. God, we were just saying. You were saying. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to ask.
Ask Rosella.
Yeah, we could do that. Oh, I know what it was. Before we do that, so at this point, do you know how to show someone how to connect with their higher self?
I think I could. I think I could help people.
Okay.
And when Rosella told me that that's what I was here to do, one of the things I was here to do, it almost felt like she was speaking as well, and she would tell me how to do it and help them do it as well.
It's a funny one.
Yeah.
You're an energy practitioner.
Yeah.
That's what she is. You're already there. Really. I didn't think about that, but I guess that's exactly what would happen. And you go into a session, the Rosella is gonna lead the way. Which is pretty much what practitioners that come on the show talk about. In one way or another. Yeah. I mean, what about I really don't like getting into this, but because well, forget the explanation. A lot of people in this community are obviously taking on every day by day, and doing our work, along the lines of what you were talking about, what you were told. But there's been several people that have abilities similar to yours that have been doing this a long time, that are looking at 2023 as being a really big breakout year. And that and this isn't, I'm not saying this is fact, but this is just a lot of people saying the same thing that are pretty credible, that the period through the end of 2023 will be pretty distorted. It'll be a bit crazy and so on, but that in 2024 things really start to take off. Is that something we could look into? Or
I think it was like at the start of 2020, I asked Rosella when things would start to calm down with everything that's going on at the moment. She told me at near the start of 2024.
Okay.
That's what she told me. Okay. Like around that time, she told me that things will start to just sort of get back to normal, but people will start to get more enlightened in a way and start to see the truth, and more and more people will get like that around that time. I remember asking her that in like 2020 or something.
In the beginning of the virus thing.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ask her about the virus?
Yeah, she did. I tell you, she this is quite amazing actually, because she said that she saw I don't know if you remember. I remember. She saw a snake, but it was a snake that had been given legs and things. It sounded to me like it was some animal that had been cloned with another animal, and the virus or the germ or whatever you want to call it had been was being used on animals, and it was also, there was somewhere that was cloning animals in quite a nice, not very nice way. But the snake was pink, didn't you? It was a pink snake, and I can't remember if it had legs. It sounded like a cloned snake, and that's what she first saw. And she said something was going on somewhere where these animals were sort of being messed with or made or something, and these viruses were being messed with as well.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. I can't remember. I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember I wrote it now. You've just reminded me. I forgot about that. But you had a picture in your mind of a snake, didn't you? And I'm sure it was a snake with legs.
Wow. So what about, I mean, as long as we got all the big elephants in the room, we might as well. There's been also some people that channel and download or whatever talk about a pretty significant percentage of the world population will transition during this time. We're talking, 2 years, within a couple of years. You're saying early 2024, others are saying 2023, somewhere in between. But did you get that information as well, that there was going to be a lot of people transitioning?
Yeah, I did. She told me that a lot of people will start to see and hear the truth and will start to believe it and almost open up to it around this time and around in 2023 and stuff.
I think he means transition as in pass over. I think.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that. I think people would start to do that around this time at the moment.
It's Rosella, why people might pass away in groups.
I could try.
I just got disconnected. What was that?
He's just going to ask, you meant by transition pass over, didn't you, rather than evolve?
Yeah.
So she's just going to talk to Rosella just to see if that, the facts and why they might do that and stuff.
Thank you.
So she told me that a lot of people have been here for a really long time to try and find different reasons of being here. And now that they have found it, they might start to go or pass on in a way and go in groups as well with different people and almost like where they came from before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that makes sense or not.
Yeah,
I don't really know how she put it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That they came, they found, they completed the task. They got what they came for, and it's time to go back home. Because there has been, now even with Mary, I remember Mary talking to us about more than one kid, but that I remember at least on one occasion that I think it was a little 9-year-old boy, if I'm not mistaken, told her things like, I'm from this planet. It's, I'm a blue being. I'm some kind of astrophysicist or something. I'm here to do something. But when I leave, I will go back home. So it fits what you're getting.
Sort of last time on Earth.
This is your last time on Earth.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying what you mean is their last time on Earth.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We're just like putting all these pieces together. And Mary Rodwell, I mean, she's a godsend.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it was nice to be able to talk to her, Amy. I bet.
Yeah, it was really nice in a way, because she had seen a lot of other children a lot like me. It just made me feel like I actually had a person to talk to who's seen other people like me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I can't wait to see y'all all come together. Mm-hmm. I'd like to just be in the room, just be in the energy of it. So, Amy, I mean, you're so different in a beautiful way. I mean, I can't even imagine being your mother. you know, given other children, you know, and of course other things going on, but to have such a special person. What are your plans? I mean, do you even think about anything, or are you just?
I haven't really thought about it, but Rosella always told me when I start to get older, she told me that I might start to get quite big on the internet, and start speaking out about things that I've seen or things that I will be seeing soon. She also told me that I might be starting to write a book, because I've always wanted to write a book, but now with the things that I've seen and the things that I hear from her, I can start writing it and then pass it around the world, and people can see what things I hear and stuff.
Yeah. And your friends, Lynn, your couple of friends that are spiritual, what did you tell them and how did they respond?
Well, I didn't say too much. I don't know, ego and all the rest of it. But I just sort of said to her, you know, it's different friends that she does these amazing things, and told them some things she's done. And most people are quite blown away by it. Yeah. Totally. Because she is amazing, really.
I know.
I'm very lucky to be her mum.
That's sweet.
We are very close. We laugh.
I can tell. You're more like sisters.
Laugh about the most ridiculous stuff all the time, don't we?
Well, you're living in an amazing field of experience.
Yeah, definitely.
That both of y'all make up. Well, yeah, and so, well, if there's anything that we can do,
yeah.
If you ever decide that you want to, you know, try to increase the awareness of your experience and what you're doing, and we have a pretty solid foundation. We reach a pretty good number, about 500,000 people a week, but that's reach, you know, like it shows up on their, we probably engage about 125,000 a week. But so it's not, you know, millions, but it's certainly the type of people that would be receptive. I mean, there's 150 people in the house right now. So, I mean, these are the type of people that would be receptive to both of you if you wanted to. But yeah, we're here to collaborate and to co-create and to support you. And I think you're very brave, both of you. I think you're extremely brave to even be doing this show.
Thank you.
I think it's admirable, and
it's lovely to be able to share it, really, because it's such gifts she's got, and it doesn't feel right that I'm the only one really who knows much about it, because I think she's got a lot to tell the world as she gets older.
I think so, yeah, and I do think that she'll be very well known at some point, probably sooner than later. Yeah, we'd love to get together with you again if you want to.
That'd be nice. Thank you.
That'd be good.
And maybe dig into stuff more specifically, or whatever you think. You know, if you say, "Hey, I'd like to do this or that," you know, why don't we message Todd and see what he says? You know, but I'm very open to ideas, and I think anything new is very advantageous, especially now. And I really feel like two things. One, I told you this the other day, the mother-daughter connection to me is the strongest connection in the world that we live in. And so there's a lot to be said for that. And then also to get the message out that these children are bringing in. So we would love to be a part of that. No pressure. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I just want you to know that we're always on call and available for you and anyone else out there that has a young person experiencing things like this. We would love to build awareness about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you. It's been an honor to talk to both of you. You're both very beautiful, and I really appreciate you coming on. And I know everybody else does, because I can tell by the participation on this show and how the numbers have just gone up and up and up. So we're ready for you. We're ready for you, young people. Lead the way. Lead the way.
Thank you.
I love you both, and I thank you both, and I wish you the best always. And don't hesitate to reach out if you want to collaborate, and we'll certainly reach out to you.
Okay.
Later in
Thank
the year.
you very much. Thank you.
See you later. Take care.
You.
Thank you.